Yo, welcome back to the channel. Today we are in London. London. Yes, London.
Fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
We're doing a summer house all the way down here. This was from somebody that seen the summer house video of ours on YouTube, contacted us, asked us if we'd come and do it. Ryan said no, I said yeah. He didn't, Ryan loves it. Yeah, so we're here doing a summer house yet again. I love doing the summer houses, especially when it's nice and sunny. Don't think it rains in London, does it? That's the law. So yeah, let's go over to the summer house, have a look around, see what we're doing, crack on. Get that driver, Ryan. Look at the state of his side of the van.
It's all your rubbish, that.
No, it's not. Look
at you eating 4 donuts to yourself.
Oh, big kid. In there, look at his cup. I have coffees and he has slush puppies.
We'll just ignore that you've bought.
Slush puppies. Let's go. So this is it. This is the job. Summer house. I'm sure you've seen them all before. I've done loads of these now. And I really love doing them. I honestly really enjoy doing them. Even better when the sun's shining. Could be better, could be in Manchester, but can't have everything, can you? Ryan's just nipped to the van. We're just getting set up now. We've got quite a lot going in this summer house, actually. We've got 11, 12 sockets, 2 wall lights, 2 ceiling lights, smoke detector in the middle, air conditioning unit on this wall, consumer units going there, stacking 2 sockets there because they won't fit side by side. Same there, and then on the front wall, as you know, we always try and keep our conduit to a minimum on the inside especially. So to get from the fuse board we can actually come down and go under the floor, which will get us to wherever we want to get out. So we can hide that, and then we've got an up and down light on the other side of there, up and down light on the other side of that, and we've got a floodlight in the middle, so this is all going to have conduit on the inside obviously. And we're having a socket up there that's switched from the light switch. It's going to be on the lighting circuit. It's just to plug in these outside lights that he's got there on the fence, and it's just going to be for that reason only. Outside socket on the other side of there, and we've got an armoured Cat 6 and a big 10mm armoured to run. We're going to bury it along this fence, and then it's going to be clipped the rest of the way up to about window height, where it'll be junction boxed on the outside, and go through and go back to the consumer unit in the house with a 10mm twin and earth. So that's that bit. We can get round 2 of the sides. Can't get round that side. Oh, we can get round 3, I suppose. This is a side still, Sean. So we can get round this lovely tree. And this is where the majority of the work will be taking place, on this back wall. All in conduit, gaskets, whatever. Obviously it's quite sealed away from the weather anyway with that nice sheltered bit. So we're going to have quite a lot on the back of this actually, because we're going to have wall lights coming up. So it's going to be quite the conduit job around the back of here. But as you can see, we can't get down the side of that one. I'm actually hoping we can fit the grill for the air conditioning unit. There he is now, the lad. Look. So, first job, start mounting all the socket boxes, putting all the bits and bobs in, and then drilling through so we know where we're conduiting to. Obviously we start knowing where we're wiring to. Basically just mount all the boxes and then we know what we're doing, don't we?
Just make it up as we go along.
What happened last night? That was funny, Ryan. Can't remember, something happened. Righty. Just mounting some boxes, as I said. So we've gone centre of that wall, 2 in that corner, 2 in that corner. Mounted the board, just so I could conduit down, because obviously they can't be centred. They need to line up with the pre-knockout holes, otherwise you try and drill them slightly off and it just falls out, so it has to. Plus we needed to budget over slightly because we do need to get one more conduit coming out of there, as you can see, which will take our lighting feed and our feed for aircon. So that's them, just mounted the switch. Deep box because he's having 2 dimmers. We're using the grid switches, BG, everything's BG. Customer requested that because it matches the stuff in his house. it's all BG, and here you go, consumer unit in his house. So that's what we've gone for in the outside, and then that'll be our route to the last bit. What we'll do, we'll come out the bottom, follow it right round, pick up all them back sockets, get from that back socket there, that last one there, down on the outside, under the floor, take us through into there, and that's the socket feeding done. Might do that now actually. Get them out of the way, can't we? Boxed off, connected up, tested, go home, come back another month. Right, so here as you can see, we've come down in conduit. That's just chiselled out, and it's other wood. Change over to Copex. Obviously this isn't fixed or anything yet because we need to feed the cables through it yet. But then what we'll do, or what we've already started doing, notch out the sides like that, and that'll just go back over the top. Back over, and that's that out of the way, and then we're going to come through here. This is going to be for the socket circuit, by the way, and then we change over to the black conduit which goes out and up the wall, which I shall show you now. Ryan's just on with that. We're then tubing right through across. We'll probably go round that outside corner with Copex because we've had a nightmare when we tried to do it the other way once before, and we shall learn from them mistakes. There he is, the lad. As you can see, laser set up, even though it's out of sight, it's going to be still level. Yeah, you can see that goes, swoops under the floor there. Don't know if you can see that. That goes under where it connects onto the white Copex again. But it's going to be black outside. Straight through, into the back of that socket, and then we'll come through here. Like I said, we did drill through this once quite tight, but then it was a nightmare getting the Copex through. We could always whip off and just drill through around about there and do it and come through, just so it's not right round the outside because they're quite big. And then we're going to come round here, same height. Sorry, I'm in a bit of a tight spot here. Come round here at the same height, and then of course because of the window we need to get to that socket, we're going to have to drop down across up into the bottom of that socket, which is always good on an outdoor socket, bottom entry. And then through the wall to that last socket. 2 sockets actually. Just waiting for our posh food delivery. Oh, you didn't even pick anything, did you? Oh, you got nothing?
I'm gonna fade away then, aren't I?
You're just gonna have to work right through. Right, so we just thought we got the tubing done for the sockets. As you can see, just a 20 amp radial, 2.5 singles, because it's contained all the way, so you can use singles. Solid, change over to flexible, just so you can whip through bends and stuff nicely. As you can see, this is back down where it was supposed to be now. I thought it was slightly raised, but so is that and whatever. So in fact, I can feel that one a little bit. Need to cut a little bit more out of that one. Yeah, comes up into there, loops over, goes out the back into there. Oh, let me show you what I did with my Copex. How about that? I didn't show you that, did I? I had to change of plan midway through doing it. So as you can see, I came from this outdoor socket here and went down, and I was going to come back up again to the height of obviously them sockets, but which would have been that much, but I didn't want to do that. So I used the opportunity to find to be able to get my Copex through there, as you can see there. So I've gone through there. I've been able to come up because it's not a tight bend, it's when there's a hole there and there, it's just too tight. So we've used that opportunity to change height to the back, which I think looks nice and hidden, so that's that. And we'll end up doing the same thing for the lights. We'll come out with lighting in that far corner, so like this, just above the window there, and we'll come across at the same height, go up to that middle joist and go in again, and then with a T-box bring it round through there, change height with a Copex again, back through to the wall light height and go straight across there. And that'll be the run for them. They are switched separately, but because we're wiring in singles, They'll share the neutral and earth, of course, because they're on the same circuit, so we'll only have like an extra brown, extra live switch wire going through together, so that won't be too tight. The lighting feed's going to come out of that one. Down there, it's going to run straight through there, up to this switch. And from that switch, this is the only real conduit on the inside. And there's no avoiding that, because you need the switch near the front door, of course. So we're going to come up there, up to a T-box, cross, down to an outside light there, T-box, through box there to go through to a floodlight, and then we're going to use that socket in that corner instead of a 90 box, and that'll be our route to the outside as well, and that'll also drop down. So the socket back box there is going to act as a 90 box or a T box, so to speak, and we'll put that there, drop down for that outside light, go through, do what I just said, come up there, conduit across there, round the back, and then onto these back walls. Did you catch that, Ryan?
No.
Sound. Oh yeah, what time is it, Ryan? About 5 now. Not far off with this conduit, we may as well just finish it off. As you can see, what I said earlier on, we're teeing up to there. We're going to come round, well, there's, yeah, Colpex will end. Come off the end of there now with Colpex, we'll go through there, drop down to that level, and that picks up the wall, and that's going to be the little Colpex section. And then on the inside, what I wanted to really show you, can you hear your tree hugger? Good joke, no. Bad joke. And then inside, I'm just conjuring it out for these lights now. You can't see it, obviously, because I'm trying to hide it on purpose. And the smoke detector. So that goes to that box on the outside. It's coming across. Using, have I shown them this before, Ryan? Set square. So, for example, I know the gap between there and there, because it's exactly the same as that one, because obviously the lights are a third of the way in. So that's where it's going, and then to get the height, I just set that to the same height every time, off the bottom of the wood. So now that's where the saddle goes, so I don't need to try and laser it or anything, which would be pretty much impossible there anyway, or measure them all. Set it once and you're done. And then the feed for the lighting circuit, we was planning on going under the floor like you knew, but I've not done that now. We get out there like I said, we're coming across, well, then we was already coming across for this, so it just made sense to do that there. This piece isn't fixed in yet, that was just a little guide just to see, because that could possibly be changed to a 90 box. That aircon unit, if the cable entry's on this side, we won't need to go down there and up the wall. We can just go across here and put the spur there, hopefully it'd be a lot neater. So that's where we're at. Nearly finished. Wrap up for the day probably. See you tomorrow, which will be in about 2 more seconds for you. How was your Sunday? I'm under here. So we've got the cable in, which is this one here. Obviously it's not clipped in yet. We've got the data cable, which is there, and that's going up to behind the TV, which is over there. Obviously all this is just a little rat's nest of mess, but while I'm down here I'll just all round band it up to the ceiling out of the way. That's all I can do, but I'll clip mine in with the stapler properly. So this is our cable. It's onto a rod up there that will hopefully get us through this hole. Hang on, Ryan. Let me just put the camera down. I need 2 hands. Right, that's that cable up there now. I'm just going to staple that back and clip the data in separately. The DeWalt stapler just fits that. And obviously you shouldn't clip data with power anyway. I'm not going to film that because obviously not where I am. I'll show you after we've finished. Right, that is that stapled in. And as you can see, I've just sort of cleared the rat's nest up a little bit. It's still a mess over there, but they're all intertwined. There's not really anything I can do. Plus it's very small, but something a little bit better. It is ours. See the DeWalt stapler, just lovely. Lovely fits on there. and then obviously the data jumps in. Let me get to the more open spot. So jumps in, up, round there, through that ceiling, which was very awkward, but it's in. Right, I am just mounting this aircon unit up there. It does just plug in, and it is luckily on the left hand side, so I can tube to a back box there, and I'm gonna, customers asked, cut the plug off, put a spur on, so I'll do that for him. I've just cut them out with a jigsaw, just because I don't have an 180mm core bit. That's for the condensed pipe to go out of. Grills fitted. I've had to do some jiggery pokery there because obviously the wall's only that deep, it's not a big duct, so that's that. They just kind of press up against this rubber to seal, for a seal. Smoke detectors and everything's wired now. Did I show you this already? Possibly did. So, just to get it dead centre of the wall, we have had to cut this out to sort of follow the edge of that. Customer asked, I didn't just do that on purpose. I didn't just do that without asking. I did ask the customer whether we want to move it over or does he want it dead centre, and it sort of sits in this spot now. It's quite nice actually. It's a very good idea because everyone wants the heaters in the summer houses, but they forget in the summer, absolutely red hot aircon unit, beautiful. By the time you bought a couple of heaters, probably just as cheap. So hopefully we can get that back up on the wall now. I need to get this bracket on. Hang it up. That's that done, finished. I'll finish this off. Ryan's getting the armouds in. One of them's grey. We're just burying that under there, hiding it under there. It's a big difference. And then obviously after the concrete we've got to clip it, and that's where they come out the wall there. I don't know if you can see them. 10mm. It's going to be jointed to a 10mm twin and earth there. This bit here is not very accessible. Oh, can you see our grills? There's the vents. Luckily you can, they're made for fitting from the inside. That's it for that, innit? You're not really do anything else with that.
You don't nurse that.
Yeah, somehow I've got to get a whisker box on the back of here, glam this armoured in and then clip it. Clip it, always going to be very awkward, especially to get it the right length, you know, to cut it. What I might have to do is just cut it long, get it glanded into my whisker box, hold it up with my left hand, try and get a fixing in it. Maybe Ryan can fix it from the window, and then just clip it downwards, and whatever slack there is, just leave a loop there, because it's going to be too hard to get to. Unless you know someone that's built like a broomstick, then they've got a job for them. Right, we just started doing some second fixing. I think he's stuck now. He's stuck, can't get up. It's 5 PM. We'll just finish these 4 sockets off. That'll be all the sockets on. Switch is done. BG grid. Everything's BG actually, apart from the fuse board, which is a Hager.
No sockets.
That's done, connected up. Yeah, I think there's 2 loose there. Smoke detector for the middle. Two pendants. Customers ordered some nice fancy wooden pendants, which are similar to the ones that will be on the back wall. But they've not turned up, so we're going to just put pendants up, and the customer's going to either change them himself or get someone to change them, because we can't come back for a couple of pendants, because of course we're in London. But I think it looks quite nice. Quite nice indeed, if I do say so. This can go back down now. I need to blind grommet this one off now, don't I? Because I didn't end up using it. God damn. Well, where are you going? Outdoor socket is on. We've got the up and down lights to go on there. Outdoor socket. Did I show you this when it was finished? Don't think I did. Let me squeeze past the tree. So that came across up to the centre, down in the same way to change level to the wall light level, and that's obviously the cables for the wall lights. We've got the armoured Cat 6 to come. It's going to go through the wall there. Well, it's going to gland into a box and go through the wall. onto a data outlet, and it's going to do the same in the house after the changeover. Sorry, I'm a bit tired now. So yeah, customers brought us a nice bottle of Iron Brew and a chocolate bar. What a legend. What was that noise? But yeah, cable's buried. Oh, it's the cat, look, hiding. Cable's buried through the aircon units in, and it comes up here. Oh, I've shown you this bit, haven't I? The venti type doers on there. Yeah, it's not really much to show you now until we start doing, put the lights up, second test, second fixing, blah de blah de blah. You've seen it all before.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Don't know if Sean's done a video for you today yet. It's the third day on the job. Not far off being done really. Second fixing. Got the two pendants up. Need to fit the two wall lights, one there and one there. Got the outside lights at either side of the windows to fit, which are these things. They only come with a little connector block, but connections wise, I've got my switch wires, my and my neutrals. So rather than just sticking it all in the back of the light, just wiggle them in and then push through a bit of the singles. So it's nice and spacious in the back of the light fitting. Had a bit of a rejig this morning with the outside floodlight. Customer wanted it on a PIR, but they don't want it to be always on. So if they're out here having barbecue or whatever at night time, don't want the light just coming on and off. So we've rejigged that, and now he's going to have a switch coming down at the bottom of the mains board, so he can just turn that off if he doesn't want it to just bounce on and off. Sean is over there, landing off the armoured into the house onto the 10mm, sorting out the data. Finished that off yesterday. That looks nice. The guy kept saying, "Oh, I know it's a bit of an eyesore, but I think it looks nice, to be fair." Because he's painted the wall white and that's up there, I think it looks pretty sweet. So yeah, we're cracking on. We got all the sockets finished last night. Now we're just doing the lights and doing the fiddly bits that no one wants to do. If it was up to me, we'd have just gone home yesterday and left all this for someone else to do, but you know, I suppose we got to finish the job.
Right, I've not really been doing much filming today, but as you can see just over there we've got our junction box outside. That's all done, the cable's clipped, it's there, it's buried, it's running round at the side with a bit of slack on it, as I said, because I can't really get in there to get a good measurement, but that goes up to the whisker box, goes straight through. That's the little condensed pipe from the thingamajigger, can't get to that. All this is on, just been obviously testing, all completely finished. We just have one massive tidy up to do now because we've got an absolute mess here. Just finished off the data. Unfortunately I had to go a little space apart because the cable was not long enough just to reach that last little bit, trust me, it was just. That was because I originally thought the data was going somewhere over here. Don't know why I thought that actually. Is that my fault or is it the client's fault? I'm not too sure if he told me where it was going, but for some reason I do think it was supposed to be there. Or I had it in my head, it was going over here somewhere. Obviously there's no space to do that anyway, but yeah, now it's there. Luckily I had 25 metres, which got me to there from there. All powered up. These lights are temporary, I think I've already mentioned that. But these ones should be on now. Should be on now. Should be on now. Oh, pressing the wrongs. It'd help if I press the right switch. Call myself an electrician. These ones are on dimmers, as you can see, they are lovely. Nice low dim. Just need to get some bulbs for that out the van. Front of summer house. We've got the up and down lights which are switched, as you can see there. Let me give you a little view of this. Not sure if I have yet. But yeah, it's a big one. So they're switched from the inside. That's on a PIR. But customer asked this morning, could we stick a switch in for that just to turn it off if it ever gets on the nerves, and of course I utilised the opportunity to cover that hole and bush it in there. So that's like an override switch now for that. The consumer unit's all done. Heat shrink on them two. See what this does. Oh, fancy. That is nice. Turn it off though. Yeah. So I run round the back. So I run round, socket, all box lidded up. Gaskets on these, of course, because they're outside. So they've all got a gasket on, and in the bottom of each box there is a tiny drain hole, just in case there's any condensation or anything. It's obviously going to settle in the lower parts. So, excuse me, little drain hole in all the boxes, as you can see. Oh, I don't know if you can, but yeah, little drain hole just in case any condensation built up in there. Oh, I just need to get some silicone around that piece there, but everywhere else, here's the Cat 6 armoured. As you can tell by that swoopy bend, it just wouldn't have reached any further. It needed to be obviously next to that, but it weren't going to go. So that's the same thing. I've just glanded it into there and just sent it straight through. So yeah, I think that is everything. Let's do an outro down here in the alleyway. I think that's everything. So if you like what we do here, give us a shout. Find our email address if you want somewhere else doing, give us a shout. Thank you very much for this customer for inviting us all the way down to London to his property. Thank you very much for the wonderful, wonderful hospitality while we've been here. He's bought us a Domino's today. Yeah, great customers. Very interesting job, but I can't tell you what it is. But I've enjoyed chatting to these both husband and wife team of customers. Enjoyed it both. They both got a very interesting job actually, but I'm not telling you what it is. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace. And final clean up, all complete. Obviously them bulbs aren't matching, but that's, I only had one in my van and that's that. So Ryan watched me tidy up.
Yeah, that's how it works.
All stickered. Other stickers on the inside just so it looks tidy. I think that looks quite nice. Dimming. Oh, that was them ones. And the outside lights are all up and running, as you can see. We've even tidied up round the back. All that, even tidied up round the back where no one can see, because that's how we roll. Hopefully, customers happy, I'm happy, everyone's happy. It's not too bad, this BG stuff actually. I think it's gone a little bit better. Good job, Brian. You happy?
I am.
We're happy. Right, let's go home.